Welcome again to another math, the Panther Math Corner. This is Dr. Irvin Howard, teacher for NC Math 1 and NC Math 2. The course that I will be presenting the lesson today is NC Math 2, Transformations, Reflections. So we'll do the transformations, reflections. Like the last lesson that you've observed, we were using the algebraic notation for translations, which involves adding the h value to x, which was the left and right of the x-axis, and also adding the k value to the y coordinate, which represents adding numbers that move the object up and down. Excuse me for pausing. So we're going to learn today reflections involving 4 areas of the coordinate plane. And I'm going to identify those 4 areas, and then I will give you the notations for the pre-image to the image. First, we're going to look at the x-axis. Alright. The x-axis pre-image, the notation involves x and y. This is the pre-image. And then it's transformation, which is x stays the same, but there's a negative multiplied to the y value. Alright, so if we have points, the pre-image, its existing image is x and y, but in its transformation, x stays the same, but y changes. Alright, here's an example. I'm going to use the same points throughout this whole process. So we have points f and 1, -5. Alright, now this represents the pre-image. You can all see. So if I do the reflection, this will be f prime. Alright, now notice this is existing x and this is existing y. Now in its reflection, what changes? X stays the same, just like this, but this is y. Y is -5, but here in the reflection, y becomes positive. So that means that y has a negative value multiplied already in the reflection type. So if I look at -5, come here, -5 times a negative will make this positive. Alright, so look, -5 is already y, but in this reflection, -y has been multiplied in this transformation. So -5 times a negative will give you a +5. Alright, here's another example. I'm going to do the d value. Alright, this is the pre-image, which is 0, 2. Alright. Alright, now in its d prime, alright, of course, x is always, in this case, 0. But look at the change. The y value is 2, it's positive in its pre-image, but it will become negative in its reflection. So it will be -2. Alright? And let's do one more. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit, and we're going to do the r value. R in its original pre-image. Okay, and then I'm going to do the reflection, which is R prime. All right, now X in its reflection remains the same. See? Oh, sorry. X in its reflection remains the same. But when you multiply a -3 times this reflection type, which is changed to the negative, it becomes a +3. Right? So what happens is that the original Y value changes to a negative if it was already positive. But if Y was already negative, okay, when you go to its reflection, the negative will change it to positive. All right. So here's a hint again. If Y is positive, it will become negative. After the reflection. All right. If Y is negative, it will be positive after the reflection. Okay. All right, so if Y is positive, it will be negative after the reflection. If Y is negative, it will be positive after the reflection. Okay. All right. All right, this is an example of the x-axis. I hope you look at the values. Make sure, let me show it to you. Make sure you go into your your GeoGebra software, graph this just to see what it looks like, and then graph the pre-image, and then graph the transformation. Okay, in the next video, I will give you the example of the y-axis, and I hope you enjoyed the session. This is Dr. Howard. You have a good day.